Wonderful. Everything
Syafi Halim, welcome to Easy Does It.
Hell yeah! I'm so excited. Like, oh my god, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy with the set. I'm so happy with the crew you have. They're great people.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I really appreciate you saying that, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you spending the day with us today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep it cash because I think you're the first guest who I have a relationship with, like a friendship. The previous guest I have is like literally I don't know anything about them or
Yeah.
know not much about them.
Yeah,
I know you
yeah,
because
yeah.
we're in the same industry,
Yeah.
in the film industry, creative industry, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it.
Can I ask who your two guests are? Because
No.
again, this I cannot ask. Okay. Oh, never mind.
I mean, you can ask, I won't answer.
Oh, okay. Never mind that.
But by the time the episodes
Yeah,
will
people-
have come out.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you will be, this is the third episode.
All right. Fair.
Yeah. But I just want to get to know you a little bit more because when the point in our lives when we converged was
Yeah.
when we started being in the film industry together.
Yeah.
But when I first met you with Fatin was when you were still a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a little bit before your life before you got on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then what made you blow up on the YouTube scene in Brunei?
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
First of all, I want to like give some context. We met up because we wanted to do a beach cleaning thing, right? / meet
Oh
and
my
greet or
God,
something.
was it really? I think you
Yeah.
and Fatin. The thing with me is like
Wait,
I just
where were
come
you
along
there?
with
Yeah,
Fatin. Yeah. Like I just come along with her everywhere.
Yeah.
Like she's the one doing all the talking and I'm just
Yeah.
like, why am I here?
But I feel like I don't know. You guys were the first to. Fatin lah, she was already big, right?
Yeah.
You're recently more bigger now,
Ooh.
and then
In size or?
no, yeah. See, and then I just realized I was just like, wow, they're so kind, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I always have this assumption that when people post themselves and whatnot, they're a narcissist.
Okay.
I feel like that's a self-reflection of me as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys were so nice. But to answer your question, how I blew up, is that it?
How did you start?
How did I start?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
did you somehow like know you were gonna like your YouTube videos are gonna
Yeah.
do well? Like
Yeah, so that's the thing. I analyze everything. I analyze trends. I analyze YouTube in general. So I already had a list of topics that I knew was gonna blow up. So for example, I had topic Portland, and I was like, Portland, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna hunt them down, Portland hunter, and halal gap as well. That's something like unique to Brunei. And I was like, okay, let's add like a sense of like if you touch women you'll get sick, so I'm gonna wear a whole hazmat suit, you know. So
I think I remember seeing that somewhere.
yeah, honestly. But yeah, how I started before I went viral was I wanted to make films. Always wanted to be a director, and to get my first camera, you know, I come from a privileged-ish family.
Okay.
And me being a spoiled kid, I was like, yeah, can you buy me a camera, you know?
yeah.
Because he has money to buy me a camera.
Yes.
And he said, if you're really passionate about this and you want to commit to this, you got to get it your own. And I was like 16 and I was trying to figure out. And that's me. I like to solve problems, you know? And yeah, I started, we had a cotton candy machine at home, not being used at all. So I started making cotton candy in the weekends. So I went to school every day, except for Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday, whenever my friends wanted to, like, oh, there's that movie and stuff, I'll be like, oh, it's okay, I got a family event. I'm just making cotton candy, grinding out, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, that work ethic just stayed with me until today.
So
and
you made cotton candy and you sold it?
yeah, I just sold
Where?
it $1. It was birthday parties for kids.
Oh my God. How
Yeah.
did you have a social media account for that? Or?
Yeah.
Wait, what's it called?
Candyfloss.bn. I think it's still up now. I think.
We gotta check that out. Candyfloss.bn.
Candyfloss.bn.
And then,
Such a bad name, honestly. But again, no one had that icon on Instagram. But yeah, it was fun.
how much did you make? Do you remember? What's the biggest amount you made from that business?
Not a lot. But the biggest amount I've made in 1 week was $400.
From what?
Selling cotton candies. It was an event. Yeah, like someone invited me. It was always like rich families,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
honestly,
Did you find those type of clients from personal network?
no, from my sister. My sister is a baker.
Yeah.
So I started off with like when she was selling on these birthday parties or events, I would just tag along beside her. And then slowly and slowly people just I did it for like 8 months aja, semata. And yeah, I remember like the white families that hired me were so kind. Like they were so nice.
Yeah.
But some Malay families, oh my, the judgmental. They look at me as if I failed O levels, bro. But I was like, I was like an A student at that point.
Yeah, little did they know that one, you're an A student, two, like we have a cotton candy maker at home. You don't know. I'm so privileged AF.
Yeah, it's because okay, this is such a small detail for cotton candy makers. They would know. I'm so good at making cotton candy. I should make one.
You should have made one and brought us.
Yeah, honestly, I could make shapes and stuff.
Yeah.
Flowers, yeah, unicorns. No. Okay, moving on. I'm looking for yeah, more. Okay. Moving on. But yeah, basically, it's $1 per stick, and then basically, if you want one, you got to eat it because the humidity in Brunei is so humid. And then if you leave it for like 5 minutes, it's gonna melt.
Okay.
So again, some kids, the Malay ones, not to be racist, some Malay kids were very nice as well.
Yeah.
But they were just like, can we get 10? And I was just like, okay. I made 10. And then they suddenly just went eating lunch and it all just melted in front of me. And I was just like, bravo, man. Yeah, and then you're going to ask me to do 10 again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Damn. Did you learn how to make cotton candy from YouTube, or like how did you learn?
I learned it
From the internet lah.
Yeah, from the
Through
internet.
trial and error.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really...
Same thing with filming. I learned how to edit and stuff through YouTube as well. Yeah.
I think most people in Brunei who aren't privileged enough to go to film school here, like self-taught. And that's also like a admirable quality. Like it means like if you're really into what you want to do, you put hard work and time on it. The thing is like I appreciate you acknowledging your privilege so early in this interview because I really wanted to get into that.
Yeah.
But also the thing is like most people, I have two minds when it comes to talking about privilege, right? One is like, okay, there are some kids who are arrogant and like they definitely use their privilege to their advantage. But the thing that I feel like they should be more transparent about is like they need to acknowledge they are privileged.
Yeah.
And if the thing is, another side of privilege that I have so much respect for is that like people like you who acknowledge your privilege but also work hard for it. You try to take the shortcut by asking your dad for money, but then again, I feel like he is the type of parent that we need more.
Yeah. He's a great
because
parent.
he's like, I'm not gonna give it to you.
I feel like I'm privileged with great parents.
So like if a kid is spoiled, why do you blame the kid? Why have no one ever blamed the parents? You know? Not that I'm saying that it's bad parenting or whatever to each their own, but I'm saying like this is my observation from like hanging out with privileged kids and like all that stuff. So after did you eventually manage to buy a camera from your cotton candy business?
Yeah, I bought
or did you have extra help? How much was the camera?
I ended up getting around 1.1k. The camera body I went to Miri to buy because my dad he saw my money. I said 1.1k and he was like, di Brunei dapat ke dia beli? He was like, let's go to Miri. So if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was just me and him going to Miri, but I'm sure it's the whole family went to Miri. And
family Miri trip. Like,
should be. But yeah, I just remember me and him in the camera shop. Thinking about it now, quite emotional thinking about it because my dad is like a hard military guy. For him to like support that means a lot, Because that time I was just like so focused on just getting a camera, but thinking about how kind my dad is to do that, and such a nice thing to do. And I basically bought a camera Sony A58 in Miri was like 900, and I bought $100 $50 microphone and I got started and I think I got the tripod for free. How
long did it take for you to save to finally be able to
8 months. I remember I told my mom, I was just like, at this point I can just do YouTube and make cotton candy on the side and I'll be able to not do uni, right? And my mom was like, how much do you make? I said 1.1k in 8 months. And she was just like, bro, that's not enough to live. And I was like, what? Yeah.
You are the eldest in your family?
No, third.
The third?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I have an older sister, an older brother, Waku Genius, who's a rapper as well. And then I have 3 little brothers who
So
I
you're
love.
actually essentially like the middle child.
Yeah, I'm a middle child.
To get that treatment from your parents, like that's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tapi actually it's like I'm middle child, tapi I'm kind of to my 3 little brothers, I'm like the eldest because I'm the closest to my 3 little brothers. Yeah, and then Waki and Vika with my 2
They just do
siblings.
their own thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, have your relationship with your parents always been like that? Have they always been supportive, but not just to you, but also to your other siblings? Because you said your brother's Wako Genius. He's like a singer, right?
Yeah,
And then
but
your
he didn't go to
sister-
music school, you know.
Yeah, but your sister's also a baker.
Yeah.
So no one so far have taken the conventional path to like corporate jobs and stuff like that. So your parents, would you say they've been always supportive?
Okay, this is the part where I feel like it's hard to be honest, isn't it? Because they supported me to buy a camera, but in terms of being a director, because again, as I mentioned, at this point I was like an AB student, and even A levels I was like getting A stars in the mock exams and stuff. So during A levels, that's when I was doing the cotton candy thing. So my focus was like going elsewhere, you know.
Oh, it's
So my grades were going down and whatnot, and because my parents always wanted me to be a doctor, and I feel like honestly, I know this might sound cocky. I think I could have, you know, with the grades I was getting.
It's okay, Syafi. Cocky is your brand.
Cocky is my brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I don't know how far I would have went into that without getting depressed. Because again, film, I feel like keeps me alive.
Yeah.
My mental health. But moving on, my parents, it was kind of hard for them to let me change my degree to DCI, which is Design and Creative Industries in UBD. Because I was doing maths at that point, and imagine I was doing maths in the morning, and at night I was acting in AKADEMI, the movie. Yeah, so it was like so hard to balance things.
Okay.
And yeah, my parents, I wouldn't say they were like, okay, do anything you want, do creatively. They were very reasonable and be like,
So there is like a T&C lah.
yeah.
Like, you do well, you get to do this.
Yeah. So are you sure you want to do this? Because, you know,
So before we touch on Academy, because I do want to ask you, because that's your like acting debut, right?
Yeah,
Proper acting debut with a production house.
Yeah. Debut
So-
with a proper production.
Yeah. So we go back before we touch on that, because I want to do this in
Can.
chronological.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Good.
Shut up.
Can I say now why I think you'll do a good podcast publicly now?
Let's get it over and done with.
Yeah. So I think you are a very non-judgmental person, and I think you are. I don't know if you know, you're very highly intelligent. I don't know if you know. I feel like you're too humble to know, but maybe deep down you know that you're very intelligent. And I think you are very not judgmental, and I think that is an important quality for a podcast host, and allow people to be comfortable in the 2 hours we're sitting down, you know. And I feel like that's the ability I was not able to emulate in my podcast, to make someone comfortable in that 2 hour standpoint, because I feel like my brand was I judge people on YouTube, you know. So people coming in thinking that I was gonna want to talk about drama and whatnot, so they were already started being cagey, you know. But you have a brand of being thought-provoking with your opening, even when you were doing podcast alone in your room. And I feel like that's good practice for you to speak on and form sentences in your brain and speak it out. Because I think people that's underrated, you know, to be able to form sentences properly. People might say, yeah, I talk well with friends. No, talking you're alone is so hard. But moving on. But yeah, and I feel like I always wanted to tell you, Sudha, like, you should get a guest on. But I wanted you to just naturally do progression. And I feel like you did well already in your first 2 episodes. That's the ones I watched. But yeah, I'm happy that you have this whole production behind you. And I genuinely think if a podcast is going to be successful, it would be you, because your connection is big as well. So yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for saying that. Like, I really appreciate it.
And you're very
Especially-
kind. I know you say that you're not kind, bro. I have no clue in what world you're not kind.
But it's all about perception, right? Like, I really appreciate when you said that you believe that I'm highly intelligent, because I think that's
Do
something
you think
that,
you're highly intelligent?
I think I'm intelligent in different ways. There's like academically intelligent,
Yeah.
there's emotionally intelligent, there's also like a lot of things, you know, like there's different IQs if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah.
I do feel like I'm emotionally intelligent only because I've gone through so much shit in the
Yeah.
past. But academically, I've always been so insecure because I never did well in school. I
Oh.
started off really great, but then again,
Can I ask what school you went to, Dulu?
so when I was very little, I went to Sunshine, and then I went to St. George's.
That's like fist the bread. Sunshine. Imagine a gangster. Yeah, I grew up in Sunshine. One of the rappers.
So I went to
Sunshine.
Sunshine Kindergarten, and then after that I went to St. George's, and then I think something happened that wouldn't let me continue going to private school, so I moved to public school, which is Dato Basir in Lambak, and then Sayyidina Abu Bakar, and then I
Honestly.
dropped out after that.
You know, honestly, right? This is why I feel like you gotta. Are you from a privileged family?
No, but I look like I come from.
You look like a privileged family.
Yeah.
I feel like honestly going to government school really humbled me a lot because I went to Tentera Laut for Ugama, which is basically Navy kids.
Oh yeah, because your dad's in the military.
My dad's Navy, and also I love the Tentera Laut guys. I see them kadang jalan di mall and they're just like, Syafi, ingat aku? I'm just like, oh yes. Not the name, but I remember you.
Yeah.
And then I went to MS as well. Yeah, you should honestly like. That's why if I want to send my kids to GIS, of course, you know, GIS is an amazing school. But Ugama, you're not going to GIS, bro. Go to government, bro. Get bullied there. Like, yeah, honestly, you should. Yeah. I remember I got into a fight in Ugama because, you know, I was from private school, yayasan, you know, thinking I was
so
like,
palat lah.
yeah, I think I was like, can I swear?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking I was the shit, you know. I was like, I watched WWE. I think I can fight, and I tried to fight this guy from Tentera Laut, bro. I think all I remember was I stood up to him, I pushed him, but before he could even like, I could even like push him out from my finger range, he already grabbed me, and he just lifted me up, and I was like, I thought I couldn't be lifted up by this guy. And he pushed me to the window, and I was just like, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was just like, okay, like my whole idea that I am this thing or whatever was out. So, yeah, it humbled me a lot.
Oh
a lot,
God.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a really cute story because I actually pernah also when I was
Took
a
someone,
kid.
yeah, it's you, yeah.
No, like because we moved around quite a lot, our family. And then this one time we were living in Mentiri, like actual flat Mentiri. So we live in Mentiri, and then I was very like influenced by video games, especially like Street Fighter when I was a child. And then I remember like one of the kids from Tingkat Atas, I don't know why, like I just like wanted to pick fights. I wanted to like, and like keep in mind, this is like, I think I was 4 years old. I can't remember. But like, I did a whole, like even back then I was so dramatic. Like I dressed up like I was Ryu from Street Fighter. I took like a scarf and put it on my head. This is to fight a kampong boy. Can you imagine how he saw me? He's like, what the hell?
He's wearing grills. Yeah, he's wearing
Like we're
actual
about
things.
to street fight literally and you're doing cosplay? So I went
I'm
up.
Naruto Uzumaki.
Dude, Naruto was not even like anime, manga, didn't even like, I didn't even know what they were. So like I went up and then like literally he was out there like waiting for me and I did a whole stance. You know, like macam in video game? Yeah. And obviously I got beaten hard lah. Yeah, so I was like, wow, that was like,
You know, it puts us in our place.
that's
you know?
not how it was supposed to go. Like in video games, like
yeah.
people take turns to punch.
Where's
Why
the
was I? Yeah. So that was really funny. I relate to your story
Yeah,
so
that's
much.
funny.
But now, oh yo Chalia. But yeah, I understand also the transition from private school to public school really also humbled me. Like I was bullied a lot just because I spoke in English.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't understand why, you know. But I did so well in English-based subjects lah.
Yeah,
like composition, I was like number one and stuff
yeah.
always. But other subjects, I failed miserably because I was not
Jeez.
interested in them at all.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, back to you. So what was the first YouTube video that you feel put your name on the map?
For sure, Spotland Hunter, like,
Yeah.
put me into the map. But I think the first one that made me kind of like have a strong fan base was, I don't know if you remember, I was talking about the McDonald's McDonald's drama.
Yang orang duduk atas table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thinking about it now, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, I don't know why I was feeding to that energy. Like, kenapa kan? You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, but yeah, I feel like people were already hating on people like KURAPAK and Amaril Adli, and for some reason I just fed into that, and that became my fan base.
Yeah.
That
So before you started into that, you were saying like you were very, you had like you portray yourself as very judgmental, or you believe you were judgmental back then, right?
Yeah.
But I honestly just feel like, okay, maybe to a certain extent it was judgmental,
Yeah.
but it's you seeing them through your lens.
Yeah.
So is that considered judgmental?
I think
if
that
that's
is the definition
how you...
of judgmental.
Really?
Yeah, like sharing my. I feel like I'm judging them, and at the end of the day, I'm showing my opinions on them, which it's not needed. You get me? Because they're not films. They don't need critiques. You know, they're people.
Yeah.
And personalities, and yeah, you could argue that they're public figures and they deserve to be critiqued and they should portray themselves better. But at the same time, I feel like there's things that you can need to critique on. For example, like, you know, Logan Paul in the Suicide Forest one, compared to just kaki on McDonald's table. Kenapa kan? You know, they're gonna clean it anyways.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're having a different outlook now, looking back,
Yeah,
is because
definitely.
of how people judge you?
Oh, interesting. I feel like I just grew up a lot. And I have. I'm very into. Okay, get up. Sorry.
Take your time.
I'm very into. I was very into philosophy. I'm not just trying to sound smart, but there was a time, and not now anymore. But there's this philosopher called Alan Watts, and then I have like social anxiety issues and whatnot, and then this class was talking about perception and stuff, and he showed the class a picture of a zebra, and he says, "Is this zebra black with white stripes or white with black stripes?" And the whole class is, you know, it's a philosophy class. Everybody's like, no. According to Greek philosophers. But and then in the end, he was like, all of you give amazing answers, but in the end, it's just a zebra. It doesn't matter. And that gave me a whole lot of like, weight off my shoulders.
You were like, Bush.
Yeah, because in the end, it's like, because I felt social anxiety in a way of macam like, oh, I feel like that guy is looking at me. Does that person want to take a picture with me? Apa dulu lah. Now nobody wants to take a picture with me anymore. Tapi dulu. Tapi in the end, it doesn't matter. Because kenapa kan he wants to take a picture, you know? And then I feel like I just have this perspective of there's things I care about and there's things I don't care about, you know? And for the things and people I don't care about, I don't have to be mean to them.
Yeah.
I can just be neutral with them, you know? Like, for example, Zizi, I just met him. I don't need to be mean to him. I don't need to, like, okay, I know Fuad and Azim saja, so I'm just going to be nice to both of them. Okay. I'm also nice to, you know? And
did you feel like you were ever mean? Is that why you felt that way?
I feel like I wasn't mean, tapi I feel like I just didn't care.
Okay.
And then I feel like sometimes when you don't care, you seem sombong. But again, moving on, talking about that situation, you know, I'll just take this opportunity to say I feel like Amirul Adli, I'm okay with everybody now, actually. I don't know KURAPAK if he's okay with me. So KURAPAK, if you're listening for whatever reason, you know, I'm sorry. You know, like, honestly. Yeah. Like, genuinely. Again, like, I might still not agree with the things that you have done and whatever, but it's still not bad, and you do you, and I do me. And I hope if we ever meet in the future, because I do see him at events sometimes, but I don't tagar, you know, we can just be like, hi, hello, have a good day. Yeah, you know. How I am with everybody else, like, you know. Yeah.
I think that's very mature for... How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay. Oh my God. I forget how young you are.
Yeah.
But then again, when you go through so much, right?
Yeah.
Like, it can shape you into like you becoming a villain or somewhere in between. Like, you seem very wise for your age, I have to say. And the only other person who I felt that way was Faten, because she's way mature beyond her years.
Yeah.
And
she's like a mom to me, bro.
Yeah, so you're slowly reminding me of her. But like, Because do you feel like you've, because yeah, you said you're very cocky, right? And like
Yeah.
I feel like it's okay to own it, but
Yeah.
like, do you feel like because you were academically smart, is that how you felt like you've always had this sense of confidence? And why do you feel like you're cocky and not just confident?
I feel like I would say I'm very confident because I work hard. I swear I work 10 times as hard as everyone else. You know, even in UBD right now, we're on our final year project. All my UBD friends, love you guys, you know. They're starting to like me now.
Shout out.
Yeah, a lot of I asked them, what
Yeah.
did you think of me before you actually have talked to me? All of them had negative things to say. Yeah, and now they're just like, honestly, you're so chill. Like
I want to get into that. What negative things do they have?
Sombong. They
Okay.
think I'm not judgmental. They think I am between asshole and snobby. And I feel like even because my dad ada dato atau juga,
Okay.
they think, oh, it's just kid, typical.
Ah.
And they think I'm gonna be the loud one in class. Tapi I'm so chill, bro. Now at least. But yeah, moving on. Like, yeah, I feel like that perception comes from, of course, it's my fault as well for portraying that personality on social media. But, you know, even talking about like drama I had with Kurapa and stuff, like even, you know, I'm not even going to hide it, like Envoy, you know. Envoy, I texted him like a few weeks ago. I apologized to him. Yeah, I apologized to him and I said I forgive you as well. Because I feel like, again, this brings to the cocky part. And I feel like I work hard. Tapi I feel like it's important for creative to feel like you have an edge than everybody, because in the end, if you feel like you're not special and whatnot, then why do you think people want to hear your stories?
Yeah.
You gotta have that feeling of which
Yeah.
I'm like, I have a story to tell at least, right? Bare minimum.
Yeah. So
And-
before, okay,
Yeah.
that you sent the apology text messages last week, a few weeks ago.
a few weeks ago,
So
last month, so, for Envoy.
try, if the best that you can, talk to me how that thought even came up in the first place. Were you in a place where, you know, it's like, why did you
This is
decide
so
to do
funny.
it?
Yeah,
So random too.
So I'm sure you know I went through a depressive phase from December to February. It was my first time, which is funny. I didn't do any work that time, and I still was the first person to finish my final year project in UVD. That shows how hard I work.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, moving on. What was I saying? Yeah, I went through a depressive phase, and I didn't do any work. I didn't. You know, I just played games and whatever. And then in the last month of that, like in like February, I was very self-reflective. And funny enough, this is so unrelated. KSI, you know KSI? KSI is a YouTuber in UK. He had a drama with another guy, and everything was solved with a conversation. That's it.
Okay.
And everything was blown out of proportion and whatnot.
Oh.
And just by a conversation, because now they're adults, you know, it got fixed. And I realized, and one person said, if you hate someone and you haven't even talked to them about it, then you're hating someone without any strong reasons. You're not validly hating someone.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, that's what I'm doing with certain creatives, you know. And I just apologize to them for being immature. And I hope from this point onwards, I won't have any drama with anyone. Because in the end of the day, I still want to be the guy that changes the industry. I still want to be the guy that pushes the industry forward and is leading this film industry. Because again, one day, you know, the older people are going to retire and we'll be the older people and they're going to be new younger people.
Yeah.
And if they look up to me and I still have drama with this, because of
Yeah.
negotiations, contract, whatever,
Yeah.
then they're going to be like, oh my God, they're so immature. And I'll be
Yeah.
like, do
And
I
it's
want
like
that?
it's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
We know what the problem has been already in the industry, and
Yeah.
we gotta end it. You know,
It's
and
all about ego.
yeah, and then in the end of the day, which I'm like, I feel like I'm just so chill now. I just wanna bring people together. It's kind of like a zen, you know, like hippie. I don't want to sound like a hippie, like I'm wiser beyond my years. But I genuinely feel that much. You know, and again, it starts with people like, you know, you and Fatin meeting me, and even Lambat Lords, bro. Like, bro, even Ismail from Lambat Lords, he got me into Duolingo, and Duolingo helped me so much. So-
What
and
language
then
you're trying to learn now?
Japan.
Okay, cute.
Anime. But
Yeah.
again, like Lambat Lords as well, like I started from making a video talking bad about them, and they have no reason to be nice to me. But they're the nicest people I've met in the industry, at least. For people that I've talked bad
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
And I appreciate that. And I feel like these small experiences made me feel like, damn, I am the bad guy.
Oh.
You know, it made me realize, and I was, you know,
Yeah.
I'll admit now, I was the bad guy, and for the situations with, you know, with Envoy and whatnot, I'll admit I wasn't purely the angel in the situation as well, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay, so like just in case people don't know what happened between you and Envoy, right?
Yeah.
In your own words,
Yeah,
explain
I
to
haven't
us
talked about it in ages.
exactly. So like to give people context, because right now people are like, why? Who is Envoy? What is like? What's the beef between you and him?
Yeah.
So in your own words, try to explain as briefly as possible what happened, and yeah, basically that.
Again, I don't want to get too deep into this.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Just context for context.
yeah, the main thing is he wanted to merge New Wave and Envoy together.
So Envoy is another filmmaker,
It's
previously
another
known
film
as
company.
previously known as Envoy Baker, rebranded to Envoy Films.
Envoy
But when you met him, it was still Envoy Baker.
Yeah, it was still Envoy
Okay,
Baker,
continue.
and he wanted to bring us together. And honestly, the idea was amazing because he had the financial support, and New Wave had the crew who
Yeah.
had the talent and stuff. And yeah, it kind of just made sense. But in the end, things just didn't go the way it was meant to go because of, I think there was lack of professionalism on both ends. On, of course, on my end as well. We should have signed a contract way earlier.
Yeah.
But again, he was just giving money without signing contracts, so it's like it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel bad. And again, I paid all the money back to him already. There's no lawsuit or whatever. There's nothing going on now,
Yeah.
and we're cordial, you know. And I don't feel bitter for losing that money to him.
Do you mind sharing how much?
2,000 plus.
Where did you get the money to pay him back?
My girlfriend had to help me pay it back. Tapi I used the whole company money. So 1K was from me, 700 was from New Wave. And you gotta realize I'm still a student, yeah. So that money is crazy to me. 700 from New Wave money, and my girlfriend had to help pay 400.
Yeah.
And again, credit to my girlfriend as well. She helped me a lot. You know,
Shout
in
out
terms of-
girlfriend.
yeah, shout out to D. She helped me grow a lot as well mentally. And yeah, again, are you gonna censor the amount of money, or I don't know?
No.
Yeah, okay, you can you just leave it.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, I'm not bitter about the money and stuff. I'm happy that I paid him back because it loosens any guilt on my end as well. And I'm sure, I hope that he is okay now as well. Like fully, like I don't wish any bad bad things for him.
Thank you for sharing that, because I feel like it's a good indication that one, okay, I don't want to keep saying you're young, but because just as a person, right, you can always choose to run away and not pay him back. But you decided to take on accountability.
Yeah.
And no matter what you had to do, you just eventually paid him back. And I think that's a very responsible thing to do.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I hope this doesn't bring back old drama and whatnot. I hope I said things accurately, if you're listening, Envoy, but that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
And I just paid him back, and that was that.
So because of that, there was beef, but recently you've apologized to him, Sudah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And done and dusted. And he even gave a nice reply, saying that he also have forgiven me. And I'm just happy with that, you know.
Okay. So is there a chance that you guys would one day collaborate again, or is that not going to happen?
I feel like we don't have to force it,
Yeah.
but again, if the situation comes where it makes sense, maybe I'm open to collaborate with anyone, with the right reasonings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not gonna force it. But if it happens, it happens.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about the second apology, because if it's something that you don't want to talk about, it's fine.
Yeah. We don't have to
okay.
talk about it.
So now, okay, so your YouTube years, you've blown up. You've talked about influencers.
Yeah.
You felt like you were judging them.
Yeah.
How did Academy come about?
So I made Sympathy, which is a short film I'm still very proud of.
Yeah.
We did it without any proper script, without any budget and whatnot. And I feel like until today, even like I met the apa ni? The French Embassy of Singapore, who is
Oh,
the
I saw
head
that.
of cinema in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And
The one
he-
you posted recently again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He even talked about it. I don't think he watched it, but he talked about it. And then that shows like this small student film like reached out to that actor. And I was happy with that, you know. I'm very happy with that project. And then I sent it to everyone. So this is another thing. If you're a filmmaker and you want to make it outside or whatever, you got to send it to people. I sent it to FilterWorks. I sent it to Progressive. I sent it to RTB. I sent it to Siti Kamaluddin, Kak Siti. Sent it to Siti Kamaluddin, and then she responded, and I was so happy with that someone. She's the biggest one that I sent, because I didn't send it to Shazanas. Because I didn't know Shazanas yet at that point.
And Shazanas is just basically like it's a production house, but it caters mostly to corporate.
Adverts.
Yeah.
Tas kan, yeah. After that, Kak Siti invited me to her office, which was such a privilege to have. And then she said, "You have potential in acting," and she wanted me to act in. She was like, "I'm actually making a movie, and we're casting now. Do you want to be one of the roles?" At the same time, I feel like she also saw the following that I had, and I would bring a different crowd to it, which is a great business move. You know?
And no harm in doing so.
No
too.
harm. Yeah, it's a business. You know? But yeah, and then she took me under her wing, and I learned so much from AKADEMI, and
Okay. Okay, hold on. I remember now. You said you sent your film to FilterWorks.
Yeah.
Did you also talk shit about them, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I did.
Ada?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was so bitter.
Out of spite lah.
Yeah, out of spite.
Yeah.
Because
you thought you were the shit, and you were like, how dare they not even give me a chance?
Like, at that point, I didn't even feel like I was the shit. I felt like I just deserved to be. I just wanted to be an intern for them. I wanted to intern for them for UBD, I think. And then I texted them or emailed them. I think I emailed them, and they didn't respond. And funny enough, now I talked to Akil again. FilterWorks, they're so nice. Like, I'm sorry. Apologies again. It's just a list of apologies.
Is this an apology video? What is going on?
A long apology video. But yeah, moving on. I don't know. And then there was also a competition that I did, and I got last place. On it or whatever. And I was being mean. Again, I'm being mean. I don't know why.
Okay. So since you're
honestly a part of me, I feel like when I was being mean in my head, I knew I was gonna get views. I feel like it could be.
Also, subconsciously, you were doing it for the views.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know now, but I knew it was. So yeah.
But also maybe either that or because like you've already started posting your thoughts, your opinions on YouTube or whatever platform, basically on the digital hemisphere, right? So I think in a way it was also a natural move for you to share what you went through. Whether it be a negative or positive thing, it's like what you go through, and people don't go through positive things only
all the time. That's fair. I feel like I was,
and for that it opens up a target. Because people just think you're a whiny ass kid. But in reality you were just like sharing your opinions. But
in the end of the day, I feel like I was rewarded for sharing bad opinions as well, because when I talked about my good things, nobody cared, but when I talked about the bad things, people cared, right? And which is funny now, because I talked to Akil I think a few months ago.
Again, context, Akil is the founder of FilterWorks.
Akil is the founder of FilterWorks. Thank you. You're good at this. See, you're amazing.
We have to assume people don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. See, I don't feel the pressure to do that, as you're the host. All the pressure's on you, bro.
I got you.
I just entertain. I just talk. But yeah, Akil, and then he just said, honestly, I don't think we look through our emails anymore. I was like, that's why. But again, in the end, it worked out, because now I have New Wave Films. I mean, if I probably joined FilterWorks, I might not have made New Wave Films, And again, FilterWorks and New Wave Films were like buddies. You get me? I'm so close to them, and we kind of like share crew. Together. And again, FilterWorks honestly is one of the nicest crew, nicest people as well.
I agree.
Everybody's nice, like Regal Blue. Also, everybody, everybody now, everybody's so nice.
So going back to like Academy, did you ever spoke your experience with working with Origins?
I feel like I'll be honest. Again, I'm so honest on this one. I'm so scared now. That's why I deleted Twitter. I'm not on Twitter anymore, because I feel like I talk too much. But yeah, moving on. I feel like when I initially finished the production, I had a positive.
Take your time.
I would say I would have a close to negative connotation to the whole experience, because again, it was very tiring and whatnot. But again, that sounds so privileged. there was other things that happened around it that I don't need to get into. But now looking back at it, it's just a great experience, and I met so many great people through that experience, and that's all I want to leave it at that, you know.
Okay.
'Cause
Then let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So throughout, okay, it's like it's fine if you don't want to talk about like the negative experiences because I can
Yeah.
understand how, again, it might create another you know,
unneeded drama.
yeah, I
A
needed
zebra
drama, especially when you know egos are involved. I understand that, but just share with us if you can. What would you say you learned the most from that whole experience, lah? In case anybody in the future would also, in case it happened to someone.
I feel like you gotta talk to people. Like if you have a problem,
As in communicate?
yeah, just
Okay.
communicate to them. Like, because I feel like when you're in such a big production, this person thinks you have a problem with this person thinks, and it's just like, and then of course when you're like in high adrenaline, like, you know, some people marah this apa, and of course I tried to my best to not get involved in anything, but in the end, somewhat did. But again, I ended up meeting people like Zainal there, who is still I would consider one of my
Yeah.
closest friends now.
Okay.
And yeah,
Would you say the bridge is burned between you and them, or
no, I feel like
for your part, lah?
it did for a bit, but
Yeah.
I've met them. The last time I've met them, I had no problem with
Okay,
them.
yeah.
I've been so cordial, and then you know, Kak Siti, Manching, who is the guy that worked with
I love
Jackie Chan.
Manching.
Yeah, it's so freaking nice.
Yeah.
Munji, they're like, you know, you could. It's like everybody. You catch them on their bad days, and again, you got to realize they're a bit older. You know, a bit more cranky. You know, if you catch them on their bad day, then of course I swear I'll be like that as well when I'm older. You know, if I'm cranky that day, I'll be a bit, you know, not that nice. But again, if you catch them on their great days, they're great people. And in the end of the day, they started this industry. I could say whatever I want to be, the spearing head of the industry and whatever, but in the end of the day, they started it. They started the fire, and it's up to us to like make it bigger or keep it. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that they exist, and I'm happy I got to meet them
Yeah.
so early on in my career. And I feel like at this point, I've met everybody now in the industry, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, you'd be surprised. I didn't know Fuad was doing this whole thing, so I was very impressed.
Appa, what do you mean?
I didn't know. I thought Fuad was just a radio DJ, a progressive DJ.
Oh yeah, I knew he does production stuff.
I never knew. So I'm like, just when you
I feel I
thought,
can tell by people, by talking to them. I can tell
Yeah.
that they're a production guy or not.
yeah, I have to say maybe it's because I am privileged in the industry because I started out with Shadanas. I only had to worry
With
about.
big dogs.
I work with the big dogs only. Yeah, but I feel like I am privileged, like in terms of like, for example, with Akil and the people of FilterWorks, they're so multi-talented.
Yeah.
They can do more things.
anything.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
me, it's very specific, which is
Yeah.
why I'm starting to like.
Yeah.
I wanna learn the technical stuff of things,
Yeah.
but so far it's just like I'm the brains, and then like I have people who do
things for
stuff.
you.
Yeah, so maybe that's why. Like recently I met Zizi as well, which is also
Yeah.
a nice thing. He's a graphic designer, but trying to get into the industry if you want to work with him one day.
Okay.
Yeah. So so enough of the shout outs.
Thank you, Zizi.
Yeah. So after Academy, New Wave Films, and
Yeah,
then
formed.
working with Envoy, and then you made Kitani with Progressive Media. I
Yeah,
think
Kitani.
we all know that story. They
Yeah.
approached you.
Yeah,
You made
yeah,
a zombie
yeah,
film.
Yeah.
Did you
Academy stuff.
feel like so? It was also branded as the first Bruneian zombie flick, right? How did you think, honestly, the reviews were, and how did you
Interesting
handle
question.
that?
See, I'm so glad that you didn't ask. How did you come up with the story? Because Fuad probably knows because he was part of the progressive.
We all heard it 1,000,000 times.
Honestly, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I had to explain it over and over
Yeah,
again.
so we're
when I-
gonna skip that part.
Yeah, thank you very much because I don't find it particularly interesting as well. But moving on, the reviews. We actually are re-releasing Kitani, the first 3 episodes, on YouTube for free.
Okay.
Should be out 18th May soon.
By the time it's already out, when this airs, it's already gonna be out.
Yeah, so
in
it
case
should
you
be
haven't
out
watched
now.
it at this point, watch it.
Yeah, watch
Yeah.
it. It's free, first 3 episodes, and yeah, looking back at it now, the criticism, a lot of it is fair.
Can you explain to us what
criticisms were?
Yes.
It's too serious, which is funny because I feel like I'm such a comedic guy. There wasn't any like, it wasn't fun to watch. That's what a lot of people said. It felt very serious and depressing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was what I was going, but in the end, films are supposed to be entertaining, and I feel like I marketed in a way like it's action packed, very fun, there's me being bald,
Oh yes.
and I died in episode 2, a lot of people criticize that part,
Why?
because they said my character made it feel very Brunei, because I brought the Brunei jokes in it, like whatever. But I killed my character off because I wanted a named character to die, to give a sense like anybody can die in the series. But kind of felt in that point. But a lot of people did die in the series. I think everybody died except for like a few characters in the end.
Yeah.
But in terms of creating the story, I genuinely feel like the story is amazing still in my heart.
Yeah.
The script was good, but in terms of production, showing what the script wanted to say, organizing the shots with Maman apa, I didn't. Maman is Mansi Entry, by the way, which is my DOP.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I didn't do the due diligence in terms of like making every detail count, making every second count in the scenes. The actings were amazing. I feel like I prepared more in the acting side and stuff.
Which is what a director is supposed to do.
Yeah. The production side, because I feel like I'm just not that, but I'm starting to. But yeah, I'm releasing Kitani with a recolored version.
Oh.
I colored it again. Because again, it's been 2 years. I learned so much. And I can show you like the differences between the colors after production. Honestly, it looks so much better. Like now I colored it. And that was one of the tujua. People said like, in an apocalyptic world, no matter how dumb and gloom it looks, it should be, but you should appreciate the beauty of nature. And I feel like I didn't do that, because I feel like now I'm starting to be more in tune with the world. I have my friend Joshua, who's very big on climate change and whatnot. So I kind of appreciate colors of nature more, like it's crazy that naturally looking at leaves makes you relax. Naturally, like why? Why looking at a wall makes us feel depressed? You get me? So why is that? It's so amazing, and I feel like that was a part in Kitani that I didn't tackle in terms of the beauty of nature and appreciating the sets that we have, because the sets that we have were crazy. The abandoned stuff. I have a few ghost stories as well, but again, we filmed in abandoned parts, and then it's crazy how when man takes over land, but when man leaves it, nature reclaims it. And it's so fast for nature to reclaim it, and I wish I appreciated that more and showed it more, and and I just feel like I didn't let the people into that world more, and I don't think people had much criticism. There's like, of course, some unwarranted criticism, like for example, there's one person, I'll also just say Mei Cho, who's another writer. She criticized for the use of Chinese language.
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
And
I'm just like,
you explained it.
I'm just like, what do you mean? Like the actors I had were Chinese. I asked them if this makes sense and whatnot, right? Like it's not that deep. I just love languages, which I don't think I was misappropriating it, whatever. I feel like I was just appreciating the existence of it, and at this point we hadn't like had a full Chinese speaking scene and then Chinese is a big community here in Brunei, and we don't appreciate that. And I don't know, there's some things that people just want to criticize for the sake of criticizing, and it's warranted. Like I agree that conversation should be have. Tapi Kitani is not the film for that. There's other. You could criticize Sympathy for that, for not appreciating Chinese culture when talking about Chinese racism. You could argue that. But for Kitani, we're not even talking about Chinese culture. It's what human. That's
it was literally a 0.01% of the whole thing.
It's like a small. It's like, because I'm talking about the bigger picture about like when you're pushed in the edge. Would you keep? What's humanity? Is it survival or is it keeping your morals? That's what. It's not about like Chinese culture, Malay culture. I don't care about that. What I care about is people. They grew up from Malay cultures and Chinese cultures, I guess. But
in her reality, maybe she felt misrepresented. But I understand where you're coming from, and I think that's
it's fair for her to feel that way. Yes.
But
she's Chinese.
I understand when you say like sometimes, which is why when I like made Famous, like I really didn't want to hear. I asked my friends who are not in the industry for real opinions, because if I show it to another filmmaker, every single detail you
Yeah,
tell me, I
correct.
know already.
Correct.
Oh, Conti error. Of course I
Correct.
know that.
Correct. They
Yeah.
they care about the things that don't
Yeah,
matter.
this is
Like,
not
honestly, people
this
don't-
is not about where's Wally.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like I want to know what the story is. All the coloring about I take responsibility
Yeah.
for that. Like maybe that's the look I'm going for. Don't tell me, oh, you should have colored it this way.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
what if I don't want it that way?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so whenever I make films, I appreciate the
Yeah,
filmmaker
correct,
criticism, the technicalities and shit.
correct,
But
correct.
tell me if it's
Correct,
enjoyable
correct,
to
correct.
watch.
Filmmakers give filmmaking advices based on their filmmaking techniques,
Yeah.
which is so bad because
Exactly.
you're easy. You make easy filmmaking. I make
Yeah.
Syafi filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
Dan juga might have another opinion on
Yeah,
how filmmaking should be.
yeah.
Tapi in the end, it's the audience, bah.
Yeah.
And again, you cannot deny Kitani grabbed the most audiences in the end of the day. Of course, warranted. It had the most marketing, you know.
Yeah.
Tapi at the same time, it grabbed a lot of people. And from the general consensus, I asked people to, again, it's my followers. Tapi the general consensus, the rating was like a 7 to 8. And I'm happy
That's
with that.
high.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Again, like, I
Did
want to see your
Progressive-
thoughts. What's your thoughts on Kitani?
Honestly, I haven't finished watching it.
Oh, that's bad then.
Yeah. I
Okay.
haven't finished watching it.
Is it because it's bad, you think?
I just feel like it's not my thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I watched it because I wanted to support you.
Yeah, of course.
I marketed it because I
what
wanted to
episode were
support
you on? tell me.
I'm at the part where it was already revealed that the mother is a zombie.
Oh, yeah.
That's almost at the end, right?
yeah, yeah, that's good. Oh,
yeah.
thank God, thank God. Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't watch it. I honestly felt like maybe because as a filmmaker also, like I'm like, okay, it's still quite new.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So I didn't really focus too much on that because
Yeah.
at the same time my show was coming out. Yeah. But did Progressive Media ever tell you how Kitani fared against Operation Hantu and Famous?
Yes.
What did they say?
I don't know if I can say.
I'll decide if I want to include it or cut it out.
Okay, you
Yeah.
can. You can. What I know is that Kitani got the most.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah. We can talk about it off camera. I don't know. I don't know if I should out Progressive Media.
Tapi, just to finish that point.
Yeah.
Again, in the end of the day, we are all, no matter who was number one or apa, what matters is that each of us brought viewers in.
Yeah.
And we are still the top 3 that brought people in, which is so sad because after that, nobody brought people in.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of that. Sample as well. I thought that was going to be something. Tapi
Oh, but Sample was amazing.
yeah.
Sample.
Have you
was
watched Sample?
amazing. Yeah.
You finished it?
Yeah.
Sample was good, right?
Yeah.
Which is so sad because I'm getting goosebumps now. Natasha. Okay, this one you can include.
I love how he just tells me what to include and what not to include.
I'll tell the director. No, because honestly, Natasha is an amazing writer. Same thing with Dan juga. These siblings, for some reason,
Powerhouse.
Again, I know what happened because they just when they grew up, they just watched movies. That's all they did. They didn't do anything else. But yeah, Natasha Jasmina is an amazing director, and I still stand behind her. And then there was so many points that she wanted to give up. Like honestly, it's so sad. And I just had to be the strong guy pushing it and not pressuring her a bit too much. And I believed Sample so much, and I tried my best to promote it, to get it out there.
Okay.
For some reason, people were just not interested. For some reason, I don't know if the story was like the main concept wasn't macam like Kitani's like first zombie series.
Oh, like a general.
Yeah,
where everyone can watch.
Yeah, there's no macam like
it's
grabbing
a niche
some.
thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no
I feel like
nothing
Sample could be like one of those A24.
Yeah.
Where the right people
and the production
will
was so
enjoy
good.
it. The right people will rave about it.
Yeah.
And those who don't watch it, it's not because they don't like it. It's
Yeah.
because it's just not their type
Yeah,
of film to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% enjoyed it. So basically, now listening to you, right?
Yeah.
From your experience, the whole production of Sample, it was a good experience for you.
Yeah, because I wasn't involved. Yeah, I was just a producer. I was just sitting there the whole time. And again, like you could call me egotistic, but I know where my strengths and weaknesses are. And
Okay.
seems like my strength is also giving people motivation to do something, you know.
Have anyone ever tried telling you that you weren't doing a good job
In Kitani?
in any production that you've worked so far? I mean,
What?
Kitani, obviously, because you are the one, the helming, you helmed it, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, okay, let's not talk about the final heist lah. But like for Sample lah, since
Okay.
you want to talk about that.
Yeah. For Sample, there was a few problems on my end in terms of being a producer because at that point it wasn't really my fault. It was because COVID. ada sekalinya.
Oh,
At that
right.
point,
That was the second
So at that point,
wave.
New Wave were helping out with Heist,
Uh-huh.
Sampul, and Art Reality.
Art Reality. Okay. Yeah.
Sekalinya, so we had to split our crew for Heist and Natasha just for Sampul.
Mhm.
And then again, appreciate to Adib for trusting our and then apa ni, splitting our crew juga kan. Adib worked on Kitani as well, and I'm happy for his help on Kitani as well. And yeah, sekalinya when Art Reality was supposed to start, we had to film Sampul. So I was barely on set for Sampul, and that brought a few problems for some of the crew because they were like, "Where's the producer?" and whatnot. And again, I was shooting something else, and I was transparent about it. Tapi yeah, they weren't too happy with it. And tapi for Kitani, Wazif Zamri, who was my producer and who is the co-founder for New Wave Films juga.
Also, is the character Dua.
Yeah, who was the character Dua, correct.
One of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he's so good. Sekalinya, he always criticized me after every shoot. I always tell him what did I do wrong, apa, and he was
Feedback
so
lah,
honest.
not criticize. Yeah.
Yeah, and he, apa ni, and I love it. You know,
Do you feel like he's the only person who you would listen to and who would have the balls to
I would
tell
listen
you?
to everybody, but people only he had the balls.
Okay.
At that point.
Okay.
Now everybody has balls to say something to me.
Yeah.
Now. But yeah, tapi that takes creating a whole environment where I make people feel comfortable to say things about me. You
Yeah,
get me?
yeah.
Even when I was talking to you, kan, when I said I had this drama, and you said
Yeah.
like, I don't know if you remember, but you said, do you think it's an issue with you that you cannot do business without being personal? And I was like, no, at that point. But thinking about it, I was just like, maybe. And I even texted you about it. Thank you for
Yeah.
putting that out because it could be true that I am too personal with things and I take things too personally. And yeah, and I feel like, yeah, I would say people do tell me that I'm not doing a good job, and I'm happy that I have those types of people around me. Yeah.
I think also in production, right? Okay, if we take a bigger look at the whole thing, I think it's also the culture. Some people are just comfortable talking about it, not to the person directly. They talk about it within themselves.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they always say like, oh, he should have known this, he should have known that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, okay, yes, but also like if you're not saying it to the person's
How are they
face.
supposed to know?
Yeah, but
yeah.
also if they tried, that's why I always believe that post-mortem is so important.
Yeah.
You can, if you have the opportunity to have a post-mortem discussion.
Yeah.
My first post-mortem experience was when we shot Let's Make It. I was the
FILTERWORKS always has post-mortem.
yeah, there you go. So that was my first time having a proper post-mortem, and I really appreciate that because they were saying they were giving me feedback, which initially I'm like, I mean the production went well, like it finished on time, I did a good job, but then again, like when they brought up the whole like macam what they were telling me, I was like, oh, okay, actually that's something valid. So I think also having post-mortem is super important lah, to just have an open discussion about what good could have come from or what could be improved.
Yeah.
But then again, it's also hard because when you have so much drama behind the scenes, but the end product is amazing, you kind of forget about the whole drama.
You forget, yeah.
You know, like the same with copy. I mean, I wouldn't say it came out like superbly like Hollywood whatever, but like there was definitely some drama that happened and people just forget. Yeah.
And I think the important part is on the last day of shoot for me again, I should also do postmortems a lot because for Kitani we did do a postmortem, but it was more of like a fun dinner.
You have to separate them both.
Exactly, right? That's why I like, and then for Sampul we didn't have postmortem because I was busy with Art Reality, so it was just kind of like, should we have postmortem without Syafi? It was kind of weird, a weird thing.
Yeah.
But moving on, and terus we were doing IMPIAN terus at that point. It was so quick.
Something I want to talk to you about too.
IMPIAN.
Yeah. All right. So after YouTube, AKADEMI, and then KITANI, and then your AITI productions, Art Reality, Heist, and
Heist.
Sampul.
You cannot include Heist because I wasn't credited in Heist.
All right. Okay. Forget I said Heist. And Sampul.
But I was still happy to work with Heist, by the way.
Yeah.
I was just not credited.
So now, I remember you announcing that you were working. You were working.
Yeah.
You were working on a new feature production called Impian.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. From don't jump, assume I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Impian, if
How
it
did it come about?
happens,
Yeah.
it would be the biggest film I will ever make. I don't know how I can top it.
Yeah.
So basically,
Mm.
Impian is a story about the HBT 2012 win by Brunei national
Hassan
team.
Bolkiah Trophy.
Yeah,
Yep.
which happened after Brunei got banned by FIFA for 4 years. So they weren't playing any football.
Yeah.
And they came back in SEA Games. They lost 11-0 or 8-0 to Vietnam. And they were just like, oh, we're done, you know? And then Coach Kwon, who's the coach, who's an amazing guy. You know, I interviewed most of the players as well. And it's amazing talking to them, you know?
Oh, wow.
And yeah, we did the due diligence this
Yeah,
time. Like,
yeah.
whatever we did wrong in Kitani, we were going to like do it
You were
right.
applying it.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah.
Sekalinya.
But how did the opportunity to make that film come about?
So after Kitani and stuff, Idham Shazanas
Yes.
gave me a call.
Shout out Idham.
Yeah, and he was like, I love what you stand for and whatever. And he said, what's the biggest budget project that you have? I was actually writing another film at this point, and a smaller budget film, indie film. And then he said, what's the biggest movie that you think you can make right now? And I said, I got this film Impian, which is something I was working on sikit already. And he was like, let's do it. World Cup year. It was supposed to come out last year. But again, because of circumstances, it didn't.
Do you want to share why? What those circumstances are?
The stadium's not done.
So the stadium is currently undergoing some
Construction.
construction.
Renovation. That's right.
renovations. Okay.
And yeah, I don't blame anyone. You know, I still love it. I still love Share.
Yeah.
You know, I don't blame anyone with the cause of the delays.
Is it a delay or is it cancelled?
I would say delayed at this point.
Okay, so there's still a chance that it's gonna happen.
I will make sure it happens because I don't know what I would do if it doesn't. I sound like Captain America in Endgame. It has to work.
Okay, we can manifest that. Yeah.
Yeah, we can. But at the same time, I'm also starting to be more, what is it called? Accepting if it doesn't happen now.
Also, you're surrendering it.
I'm surrendering it. If it happens, it happens. Because everything's done. The script's done and one. And I do believe the script is very decent, very much decent.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm excited to do it. And I still do want you to be part of it. If we ever, if we do it. Yeah, we'll find a way.
Okay.
Because Izzy was supposed to be part of it as an assistant director. Because I know you'll call me out on my bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't happen. So if it happens, I'll try to contact you again and try and negotiate a good price for you. Mahal kaya, Izzy. Yeah. I got this podcasting going on, so you got to pay me double. But yeah, moving on.
Yeah.
So yeah, Impian is that story, and then basically after they lost to SEA Games, Coach Kwon came, and Coach Kwon was already there, but he wasn't that big of a role yet.
Do the players and the coaches know that you're making a film based on them?
Yeah,
they're so down for it.
Yeah, they're so down. They were so supportive.
You know, Adi's side is one of the players, right?
Yeah.
You know, he lives right next to me. Yeah. Just a little fun fact there.
Adis side was so nice when talking to him. Like you could still get the sense of like the cockiness, you know, like the striker feel.
I would love to have him come on the podcast. Do you have his contact?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk more after
Yeah,
this.
you can. I have the contact of all the players as well, but yeah. Where was that?
Yeah, so
but then they won HBT against all odds, and it was amazing. And I feel like it's a story to be told.
Yeah.
And moving on.
Yeah. So moving on. Okay. So after that, you just
Impian.
basically disappeared from the face of the earth. What happened?
Yeah, I got depressed. That's what happened.
You want to share?
The sad thing is like.
How did you know you were depressed and why?
Because I was in bed waiting for myself to get better, and I was just
Get
looking
better
up.
from?
I don't know, from just to feel better, and I was just looking up, and I was just like, which is funny because I feel like for my friend group, I'm that guy that gets people up, and now I'm the guy that's depressed.
Yeah.
Because in my friend group, people, you know, my just friends, they're always like, oh, you know, Syafi lives alone now. Syafi, you know, whatever this, whatever that, you know, and they always feel inspired, but not inspired, like kind of like excited when they meet me, you know, because they don't get to meet me a lot as well. I hope that's how they feel. They might watch and be like, not really. But yeah, I hope they're happy whenever they see me, you know.
Yeah. How did you know you were depressed?
Yeah,
This is not medically diagnosed, but you just
no.
Yeah.
I feel if you want to be correct with the terms of that, I feel depressed. Not I'm depressed.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But again, I was in bed. I couldn't do anything.
What did you mean by you couldn't do anything?
It's hard for me to get up. Hard for me to
Okay.
find motivation.
Yeah. At this point, you're in uni. You're doing uni stuff.
No, I was on a break December, so I was on the break.
Also, you literally
I had
no
nothing.
production life,
It
no
was
student
supposed-
life.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Tapi I was living alone sudah at that point. And
Is this okay to tell you're living alone?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I'm living alone. Sekalinya, yeah. For some reason it was because I loved cooking and I just stopped cooking and just started buying nasi kato over and over again. And I did it. It took me until January to even realize that, okay, I feel like I had an anxiety attack in New Year's as well. Again, I'm going deep.
Yeah.
Because
Anxiety attack alone or
in my car, yeah, alone.
why? What happened that day?
Because I realized that IMPIAN might not happen, and I don't know, and I felt like I was falling off, not just relevant wise, but falling off in terms of like life. Like I felt like I always feel like when people complain about their life and whatnot, I always tell them, get a grip. See your life as a car. Get a grip of the steering wheel and steer where you want to be. Because I always tell them, like, where do you want to be? And the next thing you should do is visualize what you can do to get there. Legit, I feel like people don't do the second part. People are just like, I'm gonna be a millionaire by 30. People, what you're
realistic steps.
What are you doing now? You know.
Yeah.
But again,
so you were in that car.
Yeah, I was in that car. I was outside of my girlfriend's sister's house. My girlfriend's sister doesn't know this.
Okay.
But yeah, we celebrated New Year's and I was just in my car and I just cried because I feel like every year was a milestone where I felt like I achieved a lot of things. And then 2022 was the first year that I didn't achieve anything. Okay, you could argue that KITANI won Best Drama for AATI Content Festival and there was a lot of money, $2,000. That was nice. Thank you, AATI. But moving on. But in terms of projects, I didn't do much.
And you felt
okay. You could argue I did art reality, heist, and sample, but that wasn't my writing.
Okay,
that was atau me just producing, me just working. So I got kind of depressed, you know. I think it's important for me. It's hard for me to what is it called? To try to form a sentence in my head of how I feel because I don't want to sound like I'm bitching out about it because again, like I feel like I still live an amazing life.
Yeah. But when you're in that moment, you forget everything.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard. Again, I was on my final year. I was supposed to start my research paper. I haven't started anything. And then what got me out was I started meeting with my old friends, just like having lunch, being a normal guy.
Start interacting with the world.
Interacting with the world again. That's the first step. Like get yourself outside of your depressive space. And of course I met up with Wazif, who is working now. And I met him and he knew I was depressed and he said you know a lot of things already, but this is the only thing I'm gonna tell you. He said, don't forget that you're human. And for some reason that hit me so much because he said, like, and I'm not saying that you're not special, because out of all people, Wazif believes that I'm special in terms of writing and whatever, and bringing people together. Also, he says you're still special, but you're still human. You know, it's okay for you to not do anything for a day and stuff. And that's why I realized, like, the reason why I was so sad, because every single day I wasn't doing work. I was like, pemalas eh, what the hell? Kenapa ni pemalas ni?
You were basically shit talking yourself.
And this is how deep it went, because I speak Malaysian at home. So
wait, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Because my parents, my mom's, I don't know, my dad spoke Malaysian growing up because my grandpa is from Johor, so we speak Malaysian. Yeah, sekarang this is when it got bad because I always speak English in my head. Tapi it shows how bad it got because I was speaking Malaysian. Like, Syafi ni pemalas eh. Kenapa Syafi pemalas ni?
Do you think you were imitating your parents?
I was imitating my younger self.
Okay.
Because I feel like my younger self wanted this life. And now I have this life, I'm not appreciating it. So my inner child was telling me, like, you're wasting your life and whatever. And I realized that was toxic, you know. And it could you could do it both ways. You could use that to motivate yourself, but you could use that to just dig yourself a deeper tunnel.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I fixed myself. And again, also to give credit to my girlfriend as well. She helped me a lot,
Yeah.
you know, like again, since I wasn't doing the cooking, she cooked, you know.
Yeah.
But
Can I ask you something? You are 23
Yeah.
and you're already in like I would say a very committed relationship, right?
yes.
Do you feel like you're codependent with your girlfriend, to your girlfriend?
That's an interesting question, isn't it? Right? Because I feel like I always this is kind of sad. I say this like if it doesn't work out between me and her, I'm done dating. Like I'm done. I feel like I'll detach myself from being human. I feel like I'll just work,
Oh my
and I feel I'll go
God.
back to how I was back then. I feel like
Which was
which was an less emotional person and just like apa ni, working, you know,
yeah.
regardless of anything. Um, but in terms of being codependent, I feel like okay, I don't want to say it on her behalf. I feel like she's more codependent for me
Okay.
than I am towards her. But it's not because I love her less or whatever. It's because I feel like I'm just more independent. That's it. You know,
Okay.
I feel like
She's more maternal and nurturing lah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, no, it's not bad
Yeah.
for her.
Because like a personal observation of mine, when people get into relationships so young, they think that, and I would never wish like, oh, you know what? I would never say to them, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
You're gonna break up.
Yeah,
Because I do know couples who got into relationships so much younger
Yeah.
and now they're married with kids.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, sometimes I get worried when they think that
It's the end all be all.
relationships is like their entire life.
Yeah.
But like in reality, if you take yourself out there, you can still be in a relationship, but also have your own sense of self.
Yeah.
I worry when I see couples who are so dependent on
I
each
know.
other.
And
And
one thing that I keep telling my girlfriend as well is find a passion. Like I keep telling her find a hobby to do because she doesn't have a hobby at this point. But she's getting into anime. She's getting deep into anime now, so that's good, I guess.
yeah.
That's something that she can do without
Yeah.
me now.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I guess if I were to give an advice for codependent relationships, your girlfriend shouldn't be your hobby.
Yeah.
You know, you should have your own hobby.
Yeah.
Like even gaming with the boys. You know, I know some girls hate it. Like oh, you always play games, but again, it's good. You know, it's good for them. My girlfriend doesn't complain about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't play that much games anyways. But
Yeah.
I know some girls complain about it. But that's good. The same way how girls should also go out with their female friends occasionally. You know.
Yeah. Is she your first serious girlfriend? Have you ever been in a relationship before?
Yeah, I have been in
Oh.
a lot of, not a lot, a few relationships, but in terms of marriage, this is the first one that I actually.
You
wanted
feel
to
like you can
marry.
settle down with her?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I see my life, and this is another thing as well. Like, I always saw myself dying at like 40. at
This is
most.
morbid.
Yeah.
40? Life is just starting at 40.
Or it's more of couldn't see my life past
Past.
40. I
Not
didn't
yet.
know- I didn't
Yeah,
know
maybe not yet.
Tapi now,
Yeah.
being with my girlfriend, I see myself growing old, being with my grandchildren,
Aww.
and just telling them about the things I did when I was younger, you know?
Aww.
And I feel like I'll be a great grandfather. I'll be a great dad, a
Yeah.
great uncle. I feel like I'll be
Because you
great.
have a great father, I feel like you will be a great
for
father.
sure.
Yeah.
You're making me cheer up. Yeah. Tissues easy. Yeah.
Lol. So what is next for Syafi Halim? I see you're starting to get back into YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I? Whenever people talk to YouTube about me, I
Wait,
always
hold on. Talk to you about YouTube, not talk to YouTube about
talk
you.
talk to me about
Let's
YouTube.
just correct that.
Yeah. It's so funny because other than my little brothers who I talk to about YouTube, if my friends bring it up, I just change the topic because
Why?
I see YouTube as my safe space now. Like I
Okay.
give so little care about
Yeah.
like I just love and then again YouTube as well got me out of my depressive phase because it's creating. And
Yeah.
then not even creating, it's also releasing it. Taros. Films is so depressing because you work so long. For IMPIAN, we even had a PT, bruh.
Oh, personal trainer. Yes.
Yeah, personal trainer. We even did football training. I didn't know this. We did football training. And it was amounted to quote unquote nothing, but it may happen still in the future. That was so depressing, you know, working so hard and no result. But for YouTube, I work so little and I just release it. I get a comment or two. I'm so happy and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
so happy with where I am now
Yeah.
with YouTube. I just watch stuff and I edit it for like what 4 hours, and now I can move on to my other things. And I feel like it just gives me something to do, you know.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
love that I came back in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
good for
honestly,
you.
this might sound kind of like, oh yeah, he's just saying that. I love that I'm not getting views. I love it. Okay, I don't want to get 0 views,
Yeah.
but the amount of views I get, I imagine it in a classroom. Like, okay, for example, my last video I got 250,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
That's still a lot.
honestly, which is funny. Dulu, I remember my video didn't get 2,000 views. I deleted it because I was too embarrassed because it didn't get 2,000.
Yeah.
Because basically at my peak, the first hour always reached 6,000 views.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah. Dude, I'm such a stats guy. Like I pay attention to stats, brothers, and then you get 80% of your views in the first hour, usually. Yeah, in Brunei.
You gotta teach me how. After this, not now.
I cannot teach you now because I feel like I'm so out of it. It's TikTok world now.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll be honest as well. The reason why I quit YouTube was also because of TikTok. TikTok came, and the viewership for YouTube went down by like half, and I was struggling to get 1,000 views at that point, and I was just like, do I even enjoy doing this? And I just stopped. But yeah, I'm not on TikTok at all. I'm not on Twitter at all. I'm just on YouTube. Even Instagram, I'm barely scrolling.
Yeah.
I just go on it if my girlfriend says, it's Maman's birthday now. You gotta wish him.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Maman.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's on social media all the time. And yeah, because what was I saying? Yeah, and then when TikTok happened, and I realized this is my time to. And then a lot of people say like, oh, why isn't there any YouTubers after me and stuff, whatever. Because all of them are on TikTok. There's so many Bruneian TikTok creators, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
True, it's true.
Yeah. I've met a few of them, like Winachu and stuff, and I talked to her about like how is it on TikTok, because it's so weird to me. Again, I've never seen any of her content, but I assume she tells me that she gets a lot of views.
Yeah.
And you as well, getting a lot of views as well. And again, it's just a different world, and I can't get to that, I don't think. And I don't want to get into that. And I'll just make my YouTube for my 200 viewers. You know, it's so much fun.
I love that.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's so opposite of me, you know, because dulu I always thought of the idea.
The vanity metrics matter so much.
What's
now
that?
it's like vanity metrics, likes, views. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an official term, by the way.
Yeah.
Vanity metrics.
Sounds like an official term.
I know a shit or two.
The Syafi matrix. Yeah. No, tapi basically, you know, macam you see how TikTok is taking over by people like Andrew Tate, you know, like if people like that takes over, and then because people are so quick now, it's so quick.
You mean the attention span is so short?
No,
now?
people always say that. It's not.
It's not. You feel like
there's always people with shorter attention spans, and there's always people with longer attention span. That's the world, you know.
Yeah.
Tapi now there's a whole other app for shorter attention span.
Yeah, dedicated to that.
Yeah, and seems that there's more people with shorter attention spans because I've always had long attention spans, and then you don't find me on TikTok.
Yeah.
I watch long videos
form content.
Yeah, I just watch it for some reason. That's me. The same way, like that's why people say the generation now has shorter attention spans. Look at you reading newspapers all the time. Because why? Because you have shorter attention spans. You cannot, you know. Yeah, dulu, it's the same thing. It's just they didn't have a machine that fed into that, you know. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Do you have any more topics though? You want to get into?
I wanted to know what's next for you, but you've already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll talk about that later. I don't care. Yeah.
Okay.
It's impian and other things. Yeah. That's what.
Yeah, the other things.
Yeah. Other things is Durian Misadventures. I want to create a
Durian Misadventures.
Yeah, I want to create a animated kids show for RTV. Yeah. And that
That's
one
cute.
Yeah, and it looks cute as well. Yeah.
Oh, you've already started working on it?
Yeah, ish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one should make me a lot of money.
Whoa.
Let's hope.
Have you gotten in touch with RTB already?
Yeah. Tapi, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Tapi again, I feel
what's
like,
the timeline
I feel
like?
like I always say that I'm depressed and I don't do work, and for some reason, I just do sikit work and it just amounts to something.
Yeah.
The timeline, I feel like it should I want to aim for 2024. I want to take my time with it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to like make that show kayaknya, you know, make unlimited macam like continue making it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And moving on, I'm also having an exhibition for my final year project. It's gonna be in UBD, and I'm making a music video with Wacko Genius.
Okay, text me. I want to
And-
go to that
Yeah,
exhibition.
yeah. And then Dan Juga actually watched it because he's a judge, I assume, in one of the film festivals in Brunei, and he said that he loved my music video, so I'm glad about that.
Oh.
And I hope this music video does well. And other than that, yeah, IMPIAN, I hope it happens. That's it. That's pretty much it. And YouTube, don't go to my YouTube, please don't. It's just me and my subscribers. Yeah, I don't allow people to subscribe to me anymore. I blocked the button, I know. But yeah, if you want, I just watch movies there.
Yep.
And I just react. And
Real time reaction.
yeah, it's
Yep.
just fun, you know. And I also watch boxing. I just do whatever there. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
I see it as like Twitch streaming, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, there's no. You see, I'm smiling talking about it because I don't know. It's so fun thinking about it. You know,
Yeah.
it's something that I would like. If my kids come across it, I'll be like, yeah, I did that. Tapi if even Portland Hunter, I'll be like, yeah, I did that. Tapi when it comes to the talking video about like, me talking about lambat loads, if my kids come across that, it's funny. I'm 23. I'm thinking about what my kids would perceive me as. Tapi if my
So
kids see that,
fun.
I'll be like not that proud of, you know.
Yeah.
Even the Drubinsky video that I got 170k views on it, which I'm not that proud of it, you know.
Wow, I love how you're like, oh yeah, I got 170k views.
Yeah, tapi I don't get that views a lot, you know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
my
yeah,
only
yeah,
one that I got
but
that many
still.
views. My Portland Hunter was second, and it has 50,000 or 58,000. I forgot. I haven't checked.
Damn.
Yeah, I hope Sympathy gets up there. It's constantly getting views from
Okay,
Indonesian
yeah.
viewers. I don't know why.
Yeah.
A lot of people, di Indonesia produksi lagi bagus, tapi cerita okay. Contoh,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
thank you. Appreciate the compliment.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sympathy is going up there. I think it's almost 40k now. If I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
But yeah, I still pay
Amazing.
attention to these things. But at
Yeah,
the same time,
yeah.
macam I don't attach my self-worth to it.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
it. We talked about parenting. It's our responsibility for us who has great parents to give leeway to forgive the people who has bad parenting because it's not their fault. You know, I'll say it. Everyone that I have beef with, it's not their fault that they're like that. It's
Yeah.
a bit. It's not okay. It's their fault, but not fully their fault. You know, and it's up to us to be kind to them. You know,
Yes.
because we had the privilege to have great parents. Like,
Yep.
remove the money part, remove the my dad is this, my dad is that. But in the end, they are great parents, and I'm so glad they were. You know,
Yeah.
and yeah, we should realize that that side of the privilege and realize that our task to do in this world is to spread kindness and show them this is how you're meant to treat people, and I'll treat you the way I want you to treat people, and they won't treat their kids the way their parents treat them.
Yeah.
Because one of the guys that I have drama with, I met the parents. I met how he is with the parents. His parents are bad people. Okay. His parents weren't treating him nicely.
Yeah.
I'll
So
just
you
say it to
understand why he's the way
he's
he
like
is.
that. Yeah, that's why he's.
Yeah. I think okay, so like it's very important to just at the end of the day practice kindness and empathy.
Yeah.
It's totally human for us to get pissed by people who are disrespectful,
Yeah.
who are annoying, but at the end of the day, like, just I feel like you just need to have peace with yourself, understand yourself, why you react to the things that they do to you, and then communicate better.
Yeah, self-awareness.
Self-awareness, but at the end of the day, like, people don't, not a lot of people who have the privilege of good parents,
Yeah.
but it doesn't excuse them from doing bad shit.
Yeah.
Because there are also people who don't have amazing upbringing, but they end up amazing people because they learn from those experiences.
Correct.
And that's Syafi Halim. I want to end it with this.
Allah.
Yeah, I had so much fun, but we can always catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, off
so.
the podcast.
Yeah.
But before we go, thank you so much for coming on and spending
Thank you for having me.
time with us.
Yeah.
It was a very.
I'll say this. I was
Yeah.
excited for this. I had extremely high expectations of you.
Did I meet that?
Yeah, you meet everything.
And killed it.
yeah, you killed it.
Okay,
I would
Syafi.
love to do a second one if you want to have me on.
I probably
sometime
will.
in the future. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good production.
Syafi, wow. That was so fun. If I